Wowie, wowie, so sorry I'm late. You guys are used to me dropping these update videos within 2 seconds of the announcement. Well, sometimes the Apple sheep can't be quite on his game when Apple starts announcing things 2 weeks before they take place. Let's begin. So that's right, Mark Gurman ended up being correct. September 7th at 10 a.m. Pacific is when Apple's next event is. This is most likely, I don't say confirmed, but highly probable that the new iPhones and Apple Watches are dropping at this event. And of course, the invite always gives us a little bit of a sneak peek of what to expect. Lots of people have already broke down the invite, I'm sure. I probably don't have the most original take, but yeah. The fact that it's labeled as far out and it's clearly assembling a bunch of stars makes me think there's going to be a bigger emphasis on astronomy with the iPhone 14. Thanks to those larger sensors and those bigger lenses letting in more light, they're probably going to have a more emphasized version of night mode and maybe time lapses that can take night mode photos simultaneously, and you'll get these just breathtaking views of the galaxy, and the James Webb telescope will suddenly not feel that impressive anymore. But yeah, as far as overall design changes go, I still think the 14 Pro and Pro Max are going to be where the noticeable design differences are between giant camera bumps, eye holes on the front, which will be controversial, but everyone will get used to it very quickly and complain about it for a little while and then become totally comfortable with it. And then once they remove the eye hole, you'll get a bunch of people arguing as to why. I kind of like the eye hole though. I think it's iconic and Apple shouldn't remove it. Yep, I've seen this cycle before. That's likely what's going to happen. But because most of the changes are on the Pro series of iPhones, that's likely where the price hikes are coming. So yeah, 14 Pro probably going to start at $1,099. 14 Pro Max hopefully sticks to $1,199, but wouldn't be shocked if they even went higher because people are willing to pay whatever they need to pay in order to get the greatest iPhone available, and that absolutely will be the 14 Pro Max. As far as the regular iPhone 14s go, I actually still think there will be price hikes. I think this is going to shock everyone and it's going to be kind of disappointing, but most of the attention for the non-Pro iPhones will be on that new 6.7-inch Max model, which I'm predicting will still start at around $999. It'll still be 60 hertz and it'll still have the standard notch, but it will finally be like a max-sized iPhone that's not over $1,000 technically, and that's why I personally predict that the iPhone 14 Max or Plus or whatever they end up calling it is going to be the best seller of the iPhone 14 lineup, because most people are likely not just buying for the bigger screen, but also they want better battery life, and that's going to be the most affordable way to get the biggest screen and the best battery life in one package. Regular iPhone 14 is basically going to look identical to the 13. Those regular iPhone 14 models are even rumored to be rocking the same A15 chips, just with an extra GPU core and a little bit extra RAM. So 6 gigs of RAM should be standard across the whole lineup this time, but probably 256 gigs of storage standard on the Pro models, which might be more useful when Apple likely is trying to implement 8K video on the 14 Pro series. In order to achieve a read and write speed that fast, you're likely going to need the higher storage anyway. So that's how Apple will justify the price hike. On top of that, it's pretty likely that Apple will also be launching new Apple Watches, and this is also a situation where it's like the pros get to have all the fun, but it's going to cost you, and the non-pros are not going to be that different. So yeah, the regular Apple Watch Series 8 is rumored to essentially be the same as the Series 7, likely a slightly improved S8 chip, but not any huge improvements there. And for a long time, we've been hearing about a refreshed Apple Watch SE, which would just get a spec boost, which probably would allow for faster charging, but not much else. I don't think that would mean always on display. I don't think it would provide newer health sensors or anything like that. It would still be the same design as the current SE, but the Apple Watch Series 8 Pro, or maybe they just call it the Apple Watch Pro, that's where all of the design upgrades are rumored to happen, with flat glass on the front, a larger display, some kind of tweaked chassis, but it's not rumored to be squared off, at least according to Mark Gurman, who's on a winning streak right now, so I dare not question the man. But despite it having bigger displays and probably better battery life and maybe new health sensors, it's rumored to cost somewhere between $900 to $1,000. So as interesting as it will be, I think the general consensus from most will be it's probably not worth the money, but likely more people will go for the Apple Watch Pro than the number of people that were going for the Apple Watch Edition. So it's still likely a win for Apple at the end of the day. And those are the two most likely announcements we're getting in September. We're getting conflicting reports on when Apple wants to drop the budget iPad for this year, which I'm sure you guys are very excited about. The best-selling iPad getting Type-C and Apple Pencil 2 support and Magic Keyboard support. There's a lot of hype surrounding that, so I'm thinking that given it's typically been at the iPhone launch over the past couple years, that's likely when we're gonna get it. So 10th gen iPad might only be a couple of weeks away, but Gurman is saying they don't plan on announcing it until October. And again, he's gotten a lot right lately, so there's a decent chance that maybe Apple wants to have a dedicated iPad event in October for the Pros and the budget iPads, but I've never seen Apple drop both of those iPads at the same keynote, so I have a hard time believing it. But another wild card that could potentially be launched in a couple weeks is the updated version of AirPods Pro. Those have been rumored to have higher bitrate audio support, better battery life, Find My support, speakers built into the case so it's easier to ping them and track down where they are. So all great things, but Ming-Chi Kuo is saying to expect AirPods Pro 2 in the fourth quarter, so I wouldn't be shocked if they don't announce those until October, maybe November. But get hyped, get pumped, because we're only a couple weeks away now from iPhone 14 season. Man, this year flew by, especially considering this feels like a much earlier iPhone event than usual, but I'm pumped for it. If there's any more last minute leaks, I'll be covering them for you here, and of course, I'll be live streaming leading up to the event and reacting to it along with you guys. And I think it'll be a lot of fun, as Apple events usually are, with their surprises. We find out which leakers were right, which were wrong, and we get to find out how great Apple's new product lineup is going to be. So let me know what you're most looking forward to down in the comments below. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I'll see you all in the next one.